There is a boy who grows up believing he is loved. He learns to walk in shadow, to speak in whispers, to kill before he can truly understand death. He is told he is special, chosen, destined for greatness. He believes every word. But here's the question that will haunt this entire story. A question we won't answer until the very end. Does love leave fingerprints on the soul, even when everything around it burns? Tonight, we enter the darkest corridor of the Harry Potter universe. Not the world you know, not the boy who lived in a cupboard under the stairs, who received his Hogwarts letter, who found friendship and fought for light. This is a different Harry. This is the boy who was raised by the monster who murdered his parents. The child who grew up calling Lord Voldemort father. The weapon forged in cruelty, baptized in fear, and sharpened by the most powerful dark wizard in history. This is what happens when evil looks at the thing destined to destroy it and decides to possess it instead. But something else is happening beneath the surface of this nightmare. Something Voldemort cannot see. Something Harry himself does not understand. A warmth buried so deep it might as well be invisible. His mother died for him. And that kind of love doesn't just vanish, it waits. So before we descend into this darkness together, understand what we're really exploring. Not just a story of corruption, but a story of whether anything pure can survive the deepest black, whether a soul can be stolen, or if some part of it always remembers where it came from. Let's find out. October 31st, 1981, Godric's Hollow. The wind carries the scent of dying leaves and something else, something metallic and ancient. The village sleeps, unaware that history is about to fracture. Lord Voldemort glides through the broken door, his robes trailing like smoke. James Potter lies crumpled on the staircase, glasses askew, wand still clutched in cooling fingers. Upstairs, a woman screams. He finds her in the nursery. Lily Potter stands before the crib, arms spread wide, her body the only barrier between darkness and her child. Her red hair catches the pale light. Her eyes hold no fear, only fierce, desperate love. "Stand aside," Voldemort commands. She does not move. "Stand aside, you silly girl. Not Harry. Please, not Harry. Take me instead." The killing curse erupts from his wand. Green light floods the room. Lily Potter falls. Voldemort approaches the crib. The infant stares up at him with bright green eyes, her eyes, and does not cry. There is something unsettling about that silence, something almost knowing. He raises his wand. Avada Kedavra! The curse strikes, and then impossibility. The room explodes. Magic tears through wood and stone. Voldemort feels himself ripping apart, his soul shredding, his body dissolving into agony. But he does not die. He clings to consciousness by threads of shadow. And in that moment of fracture, suspended between existence and oblivion, he feels something. A connection. Deep. Intimate. Wrong. Part of his soul has latched onto the child. Through the smoke and ruin, he watches the boy, still alive, blood trickling from a fresh lightning scar, and understands. This infant is no longer simply his enemy. Harry Potter has become something far more dangerous and far more valuable. A Horcrux, a piece of Lord Voldemort's immortality wrapped in innocent flesh. The Dark Lord could flee, could abandon this wreckage and rebuild, could return years later to finish what he started. But as he looks at those green eyes, eyes that now carry a fragment of his own soul, another option emerges, darker, more seductive, more perfectly suited to his narcissism. Why destroy the boy when he could shape him? Voldemort reaches into the crib with a hand that barely exists and makes a choice that rewrites history. He takes the child, and the world's last hope disappears into the night. By morning, the wizarding world is in chaos. Aurors find the cottage destroyed. James and Lily Potter are dead. But there is no infant body, no boy who lived. The prophecy child has simply vanished. Dumbledore stands in the ruins for a long time, his ancient face carved from grief. He knows what should have happened here. The protection of Lily's sacrifice, the rebounding curse, the Dark Lord's destruction. But something went wrong. Voldemort is weakened. Reports confirm strange disturbances, a fleeting presence in the shadows. But he is not gone. And neither, it seems, is Harry Potter. Hope becomes uncertainty. Uncertainty becomes fear. The celebrations that should have erupted across Britain never come. The Death Eaters, rather than scattering, grow quiet, organized, waiting. Within weeks, Voldemort has fully reconstituted himself. The Horcrux anchored in Harry's scar accelerated his recovery, fed him life force, kept the door to existence propped open. He emerges from hiding not weaker, but with new understanding. He cannot kill Harry Potter. To destroy the boy would be to destroy a piece of his own soul. And while Voldemort has divided himself many times, he is not foolish enough to waste immortality. More importantly, he recognizes something in the connection between them, something useful. Harry is part of him now, literally, and Voldemort believes, with the certainty of a man incapable of understanding love, that anything carrying his soul will inevitably become like him. The child is brought to a hidden manor, deep in the moors where mist never lifts. The Death Eaters whisper. Bellatrix Lestrange watches with barely concealed jealousy as her master lavishes attention on this small, quiet infant. Voldemort looks at Harry and sees a project, a legacy, a weapon that will one day serve him perfectly. But there is something else in that crib, something the Dark Lord cannot perceive. Lily Potter's love didn't just protect her son in that single moment. It sank into his very being, an invisible armor woven from sacrifice. It sleeps now, dormant, waiting for something to wake it. Voldemort believes he is raising an heir. He does not realize he is also raising a time bomb. And neither does Harry. By age 5, Harry Potter can perform wandless magic that makes grown wizards nervous. He does not attend school. He has no friends. His world is the manor, the training rooms, and the cold expectations of the creature he calls father. Voldemort does not touch him gently, does not read him stories, does not comfort nightmares, but he is present, always watching, always evaluating, always pushing. Harry learns to read through spell books. His first words of praise come after he successfully curses a house elf. He is taught that weakness is death, that mercy is a flaw, that power is the only virtue that matters. He believes it, mostly, but sometimes, in the quiet hours before dawn, Harry feels something strange, a warmth in his chest that has no explanation, a whisper at the edge of his thoughts, like someone calling his name from very far away. He tells no one. Bellatrix Lestrange becomes his combat instructor. She is brutal, relentless, and utterly devoted to Voldemort's vision. She teaches Harry to duel before he loses his baby teeth, to cast Cruciatus before he fully understands pain. She pushes him until he collapses, and when he cries, she laughs. Tears are for the weak, little prince. The Dark Lord has no patience for weakness. Harry stops crying by age 7, but he dreams. Strange dreams of a woman with red hair, with kind eyes, with a voice that sounds like coming home. He wakes from these dreams feeling hollow and confused. Who is she? Why does he miss someone he's never met? Voldemort notices the boy's occasional distraction. He interprets it as residual trauma, the echo of an infant's memory. Nothing that proper conditioning won't erase. He is wrong. At 9, Harry performs his first execution. A captured Order member, someone Voldemort deems worthless for information. The man looks at Harry with something the boy doesn't understand, pity or maybe sorrow, and says words that burrow into Harry's brain. She loved you. Your mother loved you. Don't forget. Harry kills him, but he doesn't forget. He can't. When Harry turns 11, there is no Hogwarts letter. There is only advanced training, private tutoring from the most dangerous wizards alive, and Voldemort's growing satisfaction. The boy is extraordinary. His magical power exceeds every Death Eater in the inner circle. His mastery of the dark arts is instinctive, almost elegant, and the connection between them, the Horcrux bond, allows Voldemort to guide Harry's development with unprecedented precision. Harry becomes the Dark Lord's shadow. He attends meetings. He witnesses punishments. He watches his father break minds and extinguish lives with detached curiosity. "You are my greatest creation," Voldemort tells him on his 13th birthday. "More than any Horcrux, more than any conquest. You are proof that the Potter bloodline could be redeemed." Harry feels pride, warm, desperate pride. This is the closest thing to love he has ever known. But deep inside, something twists uncomfortably. Reports reach them of Dumbledore's resistance. The Order of the Phoenix operates in shadow, striking Death Eater operations, protecting Muggle-borns. Harry is trained to hate them, trained to see them as obstacles. Yet sometimes, when he hears stories of their bravery, he feels an emotion he cannot name. The crack appears on an ordinary Tuesday. Harry is 14 when Severus Snape returns to Voldemort's inner circle. The potions master has been playing both sides for years, feeding Dumbledore careful lies while maintaining his cover. But when he sees Harry, truly sees him, something shifts behind those black eyes. For weeks, Snape watches the boy, studies him, and Harry feels the weight of that gaze without understanding it. Then comes the lesson. Snape is teaching him occlumency, strengthening his mental defenses against intrusion. But in one unguarded moment, their minds brush against each other. Harry sees a flash of memory, a woman with red hair, laughing, young, alive, his mother. "Who was that?" Harry demands, shaking. Snape's face goes pale. No one, but the door has opened. Harry begins to investigate, carefully, secretly, knowing that curiosity about his past is forbidden. He searches the manor's hidden libraries. He bribes house elves for whispered stories. The truth assembles itself, piece by piece. His parents weren't enemies of Voldemort because they were evil. They were enemies because they fought him. They were part of the Order. They died protecting him. They loved him. The foundation of Harry's world develops hairline fractures. Everything he believed about his rescue, his destiny, his place at the Dark Lord's side, all of it rests on a lie. But he cannot confront Voldemort. Not yet. Not without knowing everything. The prophecy finds him. Dumbledore, through channels Harry still doesn't fully understand, manages to deliver a message, a memory smuggled in by Snape, hidden in an enchanted object that only Harry can open. The one with the power to vanquish the Dark Lord approaches, born to those who have thrice defied him, born as the 7th month dies. Harry listens to the entire prophecy and understands. He was never meant to be Voldemort's heir. He was meant to be his destruction. The Horcrux connection isn't a gift, it's a chain. Voldemort cannot fully die while Harry lives, but neither can Harry be truly free while carrying that fragment of darkness. They are bound forever, and there is more. Dumbledore's message includes memories of Lily, her voice, her laugh, her final moments. Harry watches his mother die protecting him, screaming, begging, refusing to step aside, and something inside him breaks, not into destruction, into light. For the first time, Harry understands what love actually means. Not Voldemort's conditional approval, not Bellatrix's twisted fascination. Real love. Love that sacrifices everything. Love that asks nothing in return. His mother's love didn't just save him once. It has been inside him all along. Now Harry must decide. He is the most powerful young wizard in Britain. He has spent 17 years learning every dark art, every forbidden technique, every secret of Voldemort's empire. He could continue, could stand beside his false father and watch the wizarding world burn, but he carries his mother's heart. And some choices, once you truly see them, cannot be unchosen. Harry begins feeding information to Snape, small details at first, troop movements, weaknesses, then larger secrets, Horcrux locations, Voldemort's fears, the connection that defines them both. Snape looks at him with something approaching respect. "Your mother," he says quietly, "would be proud." Harry doesn't know how to respond to that. He has never been told someone would be proud of him for kindness. The rebellion takes shape in silence. And as Voldemort prepares his final conquest, a massive strike against Hogwarts itself, designed to break the resistance forever, Harry prepares something of his own. A confrontation 17 years in the making. But before we reach that moment, the moment everything changes, I want you to pause with me. Consider what we've built together. A boy raised in darkness who found a spark of light. A mother's love that transcended death itself. A destiny that seemed unbreakable, now balanced on the edge of choice. Here's what I want to know. Do you believe people can truly escape how they were raised? Can love really be stronger than 17 years of conditioning? Drop your answer in the comments. And if this story has kept you hooked this far, you know what to do. Like this video, subscribe if you haven't, and let's finish this together. Because what happens next, it changes everything. The battle for Hogwarts erupts at midnight. Death Eaters pour across the grounds like a black tide. The castle's defenses flare and shatter. Students and Order members fight desperately, buying time they don't believe they have. And at the center of the darkness, Voldemort strides forward, Harry at his side. This is the Dark Lord's ultimate triumph, the symbolic destruction of everything Dumbledore built. But Harry isn't watching the battle. He's waiting. They reach the courtyard together. Bodies litter the ancient stones. Fire blooms from the astronomy tower. And there, standing alone amid the chaos, is Dumbledore himself. Ancient, tired, unwilling to retreat. "Tom," the headmaster says simply. Voldemort laughs. "You've lost, old man. Your resistance dies tonight, and my heir will finish what I started." He gestures to Harry. "Kill him." Harry raises his wand, looks at Dumbledore, at those blue eyes holding neither fear nor judgment. Then he turns and points his wand at Voldemort. The Dark Lord's face twists. Confusion becomes rage, becomes something approaching terror. "What? I know what I am," Harry says. His voice doesn't shake. "I know what you made me, and I know what you can't understand. My mother died for me. She loved me enough to die, and you could never, will never, comprehend what that means. The Horcrux connection screams between them. Voldemort reaches through it, trying to dominate, to override, to control. But Harry's mind is armored now, not by occlumency, but by something older. Love. "She's in here," Harry says, pressing a hand to his heart. "She's always been in here. You thought you could raise me into a monster, but you raised me standing on her grave, and everything I am, everything real, came from her." Voldemort strikes, killing curse, reflexive, desperate. Harry doesn't dodge. He walks forward, and the curse parts around him. Lily's protection, dormant for 17 years, blazes into brilliant life. Gold light surrounds him. The Horcrux in his scar screams, writhes, begins to tear free. Harry keeps walking. "You wanted me to be your immortality," he says, reaching Voldemort, who staggers backward in something approaching fear for the first time in decades. "But I'm your death. I've been your death since the moment you touched me, because you can kill with magic. But you can't kill this." He grabs Voldemort's hand. The connection inverts. Instead of Voldemort's soul pouring into Harry, Harry's love, his mother's love, floods into the Dark Lord, into the Horcrux bond, into every fragment of that broken, scattered soul. Love is the only magic Voldemort cannot survive. He burns, not with fire, but with light. The light of everything he could never understand, everything he rejected, everything he tried to destroy. It unmakes him from the inside out. Harry falls. The Horcrux dies with its creator, and when Harry opens his eyes, he is simply Harry, free. In the ashes of that courtyard, in the smoke rising from 17 years of darkness, a question finally has its answer. Does love leave fingerprints on the soul? Yes. It does more than that. It carves itself into the foundation of who we are. It waits, patient and indestructible, through every layer of corruption and cruelty and conditioning. Voldemort spent nearly 2 decades trying to make Harry into his image. He had every advantage: total control, unlimited time, the Horcrux connection reinforcing his influence. And he lost, because you cannot raise a child on ground soaked in a mother's sacrifice and expect darkness to win. The love was always there, buried but burning. Every time Harry dreamed of red hair, every time he felt that unexplained warmth, every moment of doubt, of questioning, of quiet resistance, that was Lily. She never stopped protecting him. This alternate timeline reveals something profound about the nature of evil. Voldemort's fundamental mistake wasn't tactical or strategic. It was philosophical. He believed that souls could be owned. That identity was simply a matter of programming. That love was weakness and power was everything. He looked at Harry and saw raw material. He could never see the boy's heart. The prophecy said neither could live while the other survives, but it never specified how that would resolve. In canon, Harry died and returned, shedding the Horcrux. In this timeline, he did something arguably more powerful. He chose love, despite having no context for it, no education in it, no reason to believe it was real. Nature versus nurture is a false dichotomy. Both matter. But there is a third element, often overlooked: choice. Harry was born with his mother's love. He was raised in darkness, and he chose, despite everything, to honor the light. That choice is what makes him heroic, not his power, not his destiny, his decision to become something he was never taught to be. The war ends quickly after Voldemort's destruction. Death Eaters scatter. Some are captured, some flee to distant shores. The wizarding world, shocked and disoriented, begins the slow work of rebuilding. And at the center of it all stands a young man that history doesn't know how to describe. Savior, weapon, victim. Harry Potter is all of these things, and none of them. He visits his parents' grave for the first time at 18, stands before the headstone in Godric's Hollow, where this story began, where everything fractured into darkness. He doesn't know what to say, doesn't know how to compress 17 years of longing into words, so he says simply, "Thank you." He doesn't become an Auror, doesn't seek power or politics. The boy raised to conquer the world wants only quiet, a small house, perhaps, someday, a family of his own, a real one, built on love, given freely. Snape dies in the battle, but lives long enough to see Harry's choice. His final word, barely audible, is a woman's name. Dumbledore watches Harry walk away from the celebration, away from the crowds, wanting to thank him, or question him, or study him. The old wizard smiles. "Lily's boy," he murmurs. "He was always Lily's boy." This is the truth that echoes beyond the story. We are not defined by who raises us. We are not prisoners of our past. Every day is a choice. Every moment offers the chance to become something different, something truer, something better. Voldemort believed he could own Harry's soul, but souls don't work like that. And love? Love doesn't just leave fingerprints. It leaves everything that matters. In the end, the boy who should have been darkness itself became the brightest light in the wizarding world. Not because of prophecy, not because of destiny, because his mother loved him, and that, across all timelines, all universes, all possibilities, that could never be undone.